We'll still go on and take our headlines across Africa.
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 Well, today, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to Botswana, Gambia, and Chad for our headlines. Now, starting from Botswana, we'll be reading from the Patriot on Sunday newspaper, and the headline says, DIS reshuffle raises eyebrows. Well, the Directorate of Intelligence Services, DIS, is allegedly involved in a sweeping restructuring process which has raised eyebrows within the security cluster. The recent deployment and employment of senior officers at the agency has given credence to speculation that the DIS Director General, Peter Magosi, could be on his way out. Communications Director at DIS, Edward Roberts, says restructuring within the DIS started when Magosi was appointed the spy chief. As you may already be aware, the appointment of Brigadier retired Peter F. Magosi in 2018 meant that as a leader he would bring strategic changes to the directorate and that these changes would affect some or all of the operations of the directorate. The directorate has been on record a few times acknowledging that such changes will occur from time to time and implementations will be done to improve the directorate's efficiency and professionalism, he said. Now, recently, DIS officers were shocked when one director was deployed to another government ministry and replaced by someone with different qualifications. It is very clear that the new director is not part of Magosi's team because the guy is not from the disciplined forces and we believe is a part of the new team that is being built post-Magosi. This was revealed by a source. Robert said, like any organization, it is normal for the DIS to employ and deploy or redeploy its staff according to a rising need from time to time. He also continued that while there is nothing to confirm, this is an ongoing process that can be reasonably expected to occur as and when the organization finds it suitable to achieve different goals important in executing its mandate as per the Intelligence and Security Service Act 2008. Well, that is the story coming from Botswana, the Patriot on Sunday newspaper. I think it's really like whoever is in charge determines the best stuff he can work with. And like, this is a security place, so changing people and keeping people in one place for too long will be a very dangerous thing to do. Changing them and re-employing or redeploying them could be a strategy that will be working well for them. So we wish Magosi well and his team all the best. Now, moving on to Gambia, we'll be reading from the Standard newspaper, where their headline says, Government to return Sand Mosque to Gonjur. The imposing, magnificent mosque on the Gonju beach, locally called Kenya Mosque, which was built by former President Jammeh, will now be handed over to the natives of the town, Tourism Minister Hamat Ba told the Standard yesterday. The mosque was hugely famous for attracting religious pilgrims from the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, and other countries of the sub-region in early 2000s, but former President Jammeh took ownership of the place few years later on. The former president built a grand mosque on the site and used it for seclusion and prayers for many years. Initiated by the community of Gonju and Imam Baba Lay, pilgrimages to the Sand Mosque generated huge amounts of tourist money, and plans were in the pipeline to market it even beyond the sub-region before Jammeh took it over. We're now finalizing plans to give back the ownership of the place to the community of Gonjur. Not only that, but the people of Gonjur will manage it for themselves. We want to work with them to promote religious tourism, Ba has said. And according to the tourism minister, the Gonjur Sand Mosque is popular and revered through the visit there by the renowned Alhaji Sheikh Omar Futi Tal in the 1800s and has great tourism possibilities. Well, that's the story coming from the Standard newspaper in Gambia. I think what belongs to Caesar, you give back onto Caesar. So if they're handing the mosque back to the people who rightfully had ownership of it, it's a good thing. We're reading from the Journal du Chad newspaper in Chad, and their headline says, Customs disapproves of economic operators over blockade of goods in Ngwali. The DGA of Customs and Indirect Taxes has questioned the allegations of economic operators that there is a walkout in the activities of importers, exporters, and forwarders, causing the blockade of goods in Ngwali. Now, we didn't imagine a tax or create a hassle in Ngwali. This was said by Je Mrembambete Justin, the Deputy Director for General of Customs at the Custom Department. Now, this communication follows rumors of a walkout in the activities of importers, exporters, and forwarders, causing a blockade at the port of Ngwali. The supposed widespread and unconserved increase with the economic operators of tariffs and the interconnection of the Chadian and Cameroonian customs systems of Sindonia and Kamsis, which would have been the effect of increasing the cost of goods and thus making the lives of citizens more expensive, was denied by the DGA. Formally, the allegations about them are fundamentally false, if not biased. The customs tariff is a nomenclature which, in addition to numerical code, contains 3 columns containing for CEMAC member countries with the rates of EU import tariffs. It does not come from the Chadian authorities alone, let alone the Director General of the Customs and Indirect Taxes Department. This was argued by Jerambete Justin. Now, he adds that this misunderstanding is the result of failure by the approved customs commissioners to comply with their commitments to the administration, while the latter has granted them facilities under the customs code and the agreements that the state has signed with economic and financial partners. Well, not really the best of issues. I believe the appropriate stakeholders or agents involved in this should actually sit at a table and clarify all misunderstandings with relations to when it comes to movement of goods and people in countries or cross countries. Not something you want to joke with. And that was the story coming from the Journal du Chad newspaper in Chad.